love my chocolate. I need some.
Today I'm going to inform my audience on how to adopt an animal from an animal shelter. According to SPCA International, all thousands of animals are abused and neglected every single day, and these are the animals that end up in foster homes and shelters worldwide. I personally have adopted 2 cats from the Humane Society in the past 6 months, so I'm very familiar with the process. Knowing your options when you're trying to add a pet to your family is very important. That way you can get the right pet for your family and also achieve the pet's needs as well. Today I will show you how to tell the difference between the types of shelters and application processes that you can expect and what animals you can expect and where to find them. Let's first discuss what types of shelters and rescue groups that are available. There's open access animal shelters. Open access means that anybody can drop off their animals at any time. It's not private, anybody can do it. There's 2 types. There's one run by the city, which is going to be smaller and have less animals, and there's one run by the county, which is going to be larger and have more animals. But they're both probably going to euthanize due to overpopulation. There's rescue groups. There's several types, like the Humane Society and other non-profit organizations. Some are open access. You'll just have to check with that specific location and see what they want to do. And there's most of those do not euthanize because they only accept as many animals as their facility will hold. And then there's foster homes, which are volunteers' houses, and you can usually get in touch with these people through the animal shelter or your local veterinarian, and they can help you adopt one of those animals if you feel like they're the right fit for your family. There's also private shelters, which won't accept as many animals, but they're usually better facilities, and they will not euthanize because they only accept as many animals as their shelter will hold. Once you know the different types of shelters, you can decide which one you would rather use. And now we'll discuss the different things you might have to do in order to adopt the pet. There's applications, payment, and a judge of character. The application process is usually going to consist of age verification because you have to be 18 years old in order to adopt a pet from most facilities. They're probably going to ask for your home address because they want to see what kind of environment you're going to take this pet home to, and so they'll see how to be living so they don't end up back into the foster home or shelter that it came from. And that's the same with the landlord's permission. They just want to make sure that you are allowed to have pets where you're living. There's also probably going to be a rehoming fee because they want to make sure that you're serious about adopting a pet, and they're also going to probably spay and neuter them and get them up to date on their shots, so they want you to pay a fraction of it, which is actually a really good deal considering if you had to take it to a vet it would be much more expensive. And then and now that you know about the different shelters and what it takes to adopt a pet, we'll discuss what kinds of pets they have and where to find them. There are local shelters which will probably not have an application, and only minimal information will be needed, like your name and address. And they're gonna, as soon as you walk in, they're gonna try to figure out what kind of person you are. And I know it might be hard from first impressions, but it's all they really had to go on. And in rescue groups, you're going to have an application, a rehoming fee. You're going to have to sign a waiver saying that if you are not a fit, caretaker for this pet, that you will give it back. And your landlord's permission in writing. Like I said, that way they make sure that you're allowed to have pets. Private shelters, you're going to have the same thing, an application and a rehoming fee. And foster homes, you're going to have permission from the vet or animal shelter that the pet was originally located at. You might have a rehoming fee just to cover the cost of the food and stuff that the pet's already been using at that person's house, but you're probably not going to have an application. The different types of places will have different animals depending on where you're located, what animals are overpopulated in that area, and which ones are easiest to adopt. Finding these animals can be, the most common animals there are to adopt are cats and dogs because they're the easiest to rehome. The most common are they're most common strays and easiest to find new people to take these animals. You can find all of these animals from the internet or the newspaper. You can go to your local vet's office or take a trip to your local shelter. And today you learned about the different ways to adopt a pet. You learned the different types of shelters and adoption processes. Each place will require you to undergo. You also learned about what animals can be found where. Now the next time that you're thinking about getting a pet for your family, you don't have to stop in front of Walmart and buy the first puppy you see. You have options. You know about all the shelters and all the application processes that you're going to need to do in order to adopt the pet that you want.